My name is Peter Osborne. I'm one of the directors of Osborne Samuel Gallery in London. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Henry Moore sculpture in general, but more particularly about this rather beautiful little maquette here. Not so little, in fact. It's a maquette called Mother and Child Round Form from 1980. It forms part of our current exhibition called Space and Form, which is an exhibition all about Henry Moore's different ways of looking at form, about negative and positive space, about monumentality, and how you can transfer that to different media. So this particular sculpture, Mother and Child Round Form 1980, I'm familiar with because when I first went to the Moore Foundation, this sculpture was there. He made it just before my first visit, which was in 1981. And what's especially interesting about it is that even though it's the familiar mother and child concept, you can see in maquette form a certain monumentality in the mother, a calmness and serenity in her face, the way she looks down, and yet somehow the child has its own presence and its own strength and creates a couple between the two. They're both looking at each other. You have to look very closely to see the pinpoints that Henry Moore used to use for the eyes, and yet the mother has mass. She has volume, she has strength, maternal obviously, but the baby somehow is disembodied. And both elements of this sculpture have been not exactly abstracted, because the modeling is very, very clear. It's quite naturalistic in that sense. But at the same time, there isn't too much detail. So what matters here is the form and the space between the mother figure and the child figure, negative and positive space. And the modeling that Moore has done to bring the two together doesn't overdo it. So each element, each figure, each person has its own identity, which makes it such a perfect sculpture. Larger than most maquettes are somewhat smaller than this, and she has a certain strength and majesty as well. She has confidence. The way her shoulders sit and the way she embraces the child without pulling the child too close to her, which makes it a very exquisite sculpture.